was a fun one. We can put it back together with a bearing as long as the spindle's good. It's one of those days that you hope will never happen. But the odds are, at some point, it's probably going to happen. We left northern Utah, overnighted at the Fallen Peace Officer Trailhead yet again. It's the third time this year we've overnighted there. Easy stop, 300 miles from our home base. Got up the next morning, made a quick stop in the Ute Travel Plaza. A little lunch. Then we took the 491 South to Gallup. Man, you know, people complain all the time about the road through, you know, I-10, I-20 in Louisiana. And, you know, Angie and I have been quite a few places, and I'll tell you what, that 491 from Cortez South to Gallup was horrible. But got filled up in Gallup for $1 less than what we paid in northern Utah. That was nice. And our stop for the night was going to be the historic 66 Casino just west of Albuquerque. There's an RV park on the south side, but man, there's plenty of parking, and they have security. So we, after wandering around a little bit, we picked a spot. And during that wandering, when I was making a fairly sharp turn with the trailer, we heard a noise. Angie was like, well, what was that? And I'm looking at the trailer, and I'm seeing how, you know, what an angle that the tires were on. It was concerning. We got parked, I jumped out, I checked the temperatures of all the hubs, and they were all 84 degrees. So I thought, well, I don't have a bearing going on. I actually got underneath, inspected all of my suspension parts. I didn't see any issue. All the tires were, the drums looked true to the backing plates. But I told Ange, I'm gonna jack it up, and I'm gonna turn the tires on that side, see if there's anything dragging. Maybe we got a broken spring in there. I mean, I don't know. Got up the next morning and jacked up the front tire, and everything was tight, and nothing dragged. And this is on me. I should have done the back tire, apparently. I thought it was the front tire where that squeal come from, and thought, well, we'll be good to go. So we pulled out of the parking lot, hit I-40, and
got up to speed.
Got up to speed, maybe a mile down the road, maybe a little more than a mile down the road. Dad come on the radio, "You're smoking." So we got pulled over PDQ, and show you some video of that, but still not exactly sure what had happened. I don't know if the bearing got. I really don't know. I packed those bearings probably about 1,000 miles ago. In the scheme of things, last spring. We've been to Moab and back and a few other places, but I could look.
Well, it happened.
Did it happen? When we got stopped, I got the truck up, the trailer up, and obviously the rim, tire, wheel assembly, hub assembly was all on an angle, and pulled the tire off. Yeah, the race has come apart. We pulled that off, the dust cover, the castle nut, and the washer, and pieces of the outer bearing just fell out.
Well, it's not supposed to be in pieces like that.
Yeah, and then literally I just pulled the hub off. I'm just grateful that we didn't lose that hub assembly. I mean, there was really nothing holding it on. It could have just flown right off the side of the trailer at that point. The inner race from the outer bearing had seized on the spindle, so that took a little work getting it off. Had to file some marring up. Carry an extra set of bearings, an extra seal. Well, what we found out when we were trying to get it back together is that the hub was damaged. Well, as you can see, it busted off a chunk of that. And so we got it to the point where we could limp it back to the casino. And then, fortunately, we were literally 20 miles from an axle store.
I think it was 12.
In downtown Albuquerque.
Yes, we called Camping World.
Yeah, go ahead, Ange.
We called Camping World, and they immediately referred us to McBride's in Albuquerque. So we called McBride's, and they gave us, they had tons of information.
Well, so Camping World also told Angie, she said, you know, we're actually, at the time when she called them, we were still at the side of the highway, and they said, your best bet is to go right back to the casino. We've had a lot of break-ins in our RV parks here in town, and
hotels.
And hotels. She said, I don't know, was it a guy or a girl you talked to?
A guy.
Anyways, they said, go right back to the casino, and that's your best bet for the night. They have security there, and so we did. We went right back to where we were.
Half a mile.
Then I got on the phone, once we got set back up, got on the phone with McBride's. Basically, McBride said that they could take care of me, obviously. I had a couple of options. I could drop the axle and bring it to them, in which case they would rebuild the axle assembly, and they figured that they could have that done by Friday if I brought them the axle. But they had all the parts, obviously. They rebuild them. So, knowing what I'd known from tearing it apart and everything else, I thought, well, I'm pretty sure I could just get away with new hub assembly, new bearings. So I ran in there. They were able to take care of that. Then stopped at Napa, got some emery cloth, and
Got it fixed.
Got back, pulled it all back apart, and spent a little time polishing up the spindle with some emery cloth to make sure that it was good. Got it reassembled, and we're headed on back down the road. But a couple of things here. Had the right parts and the tools with us. Sitting there at the side of the freeway, the wind was blowing 25, 30 mile an hour, and trucks are going by. Man, it was cold. Man, it was breezy, but man, I'm glad we could get us back without having to call a service truck or anything like that, because boy, that would have been a spendy bill, I'm sure. But so far we put over 150 miles back on her, and she seems to be doing all right. We stopped at the rest area in Moriarty and checked everything, and when we get to Marble Falls, I think I'm gonna pull all the hubs down again and go through them again.
Do a double check.
So I just don't know what caused that. I mean, we were on some really rough roads. I don't know if taking that corner in the parking lot, it put enough pressure on the bearing and snapped the cage. I mean, who knows? The inner bearing was still fine. The inner seal was fine. Unfortunately, when with the hub assembly coming apart, the hub had shifted forward. It must have caught on part of the spindle, and it basically busted a piece off the sealing surface on the back side of the hub for the rear seal. So it was obviously something that needed to be replaced, and we weren't gonna do much more than get it to where we could fix it.
We're just thankful that they had all parts in stock, and they were available, and they were super helpful.
So a little bit about the casino there. As I said, huge parking lot. There was quite a number of RVs that overnighted around us, and like I said, they had security there. So I mean, we've said this before in several different mishaps that we've had, and man, it couldn't have happened in a better place. I mean, if I'd have lost that, 50 miles north of Gallup, or even out here in the middle of nowhere, it would have made it even much more of an adventure. Well, it's not all sunshine and roses in the RV lifestyle.
I was thankful for good chops. We were on a hill.
And of course, while I was working on it, we had our potty right there with us. Angie too. Angie didn't have to go find a sagebrush.
That's true.
So, we're hoping to get to Amarillo tonight. We're going to spend at least 2 nights, maybe longer. We haven't quite decided. There's a couple of things we want to do in Amarillo. We have passed by the Cadillac Ranch, little touristed thing several times in the past, and we've never stopped. We're gonna go see that. We're gonna go to the Quarter Horse Museum. Angie's wanted to stop by and see the Quarter Horse Museum. She grew up with horses, so that should be interesting. And we kind of blew our budget at the cafe last night after working on the truck, so I'm not sure if we'll make it into the Big Texan Steakhouse. Maybe. We'll see. So let's keep on keeping on.
Are you posing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm filming.
Oh. And I have a quarter. Or I could feel like I was 8 years old again.